So I get really, really excited about this category. This string trimmer is something special, I'm telling you. The MAT Fuel string trimmer has the power to cut thick brush. It has instant throttle response. I'm telling you, you pull that trigger, it's immediate. And it delivers unmatched runtime. So first, let's talk about the power generation of this product. We're utilizing our largest power state brushless motor in the back end of this tool and running a solid drive shaft the whole way down to the gearbox. So when you pair that motor with about a 6-foot shaft and you're running a few thousand RPM, it wants to maintain that inertia. It has a ton of momentum, so as soon as you come in contact with anything, it plows right through it. So this is not your grandmother's string trimmer designed for only light trimming, right? And you're gonna get your hands on that and see a little later. Now the other thing I want to talk about is the placement of the motor. The critical thing with the string trimmer when you put it in a professional's hand is that it feels right, it has the right balance, right? The right ergonomics. A lot of the competitive products out in the market today, from a cordless perspective, place the motor near the head of the product. Why do they do that? Because it's easy to execute and it's a lower cost solution. Now what's the issue with putting the motor at the head of the string trimmer?
Long wire run through it.
What's that?
Long wire running from your power source down to your motor.
Yep, that's a good one. What else?
Weights on the bottom.
Yep, so the weight's off, long leads. Exactly, yeah, so that's the business end of the product. So you're gonna get a ton of debris, water exposure, everything to your motor. So you guys covered it, right? So with utilizing our power state brushless motor in the rear with the drive shaft, we deliver the best performance, the best ergonomics, and the best maneuverability. Now when we throw our new Red Lithium High Demand 9.0 battery pack on that, we take runtime to another level, right? So it's going to be able to power that trimmer beyond anything in the market. You have a variable speed trigger on this string trimmer, and this is critical because of how the products are used. So with the professionals, when they're going around product, they're constantly feathering the trigger, right? So they don't always need full power all the time. So it gives them full control of the power curve range. The other thing we have is a high and low speed settings. So low is fantastic to extend your runtime, if that's your biggest concern. And the other nice thing about having this low setting, the way we have it set up, is that it has plenty of power to do your standard grass trimming, so you won't have to feather the trigger as often. So that means less fatigue for your readers when using the product. Now the other thing I mentioned with the trigger is that instant response. It's faster than anything you're going to see out there in the market, whether it's cordless or gas. When you pull the trigger, it's immediate. So moving down from there, we have what's called a solid drive shaft in this string trimmer. So in the market you see, with gas trimmers, you see a flex shaft and a solid shaft. We're utilizing a solid shaft to deliver instantaneous power, and we feel that it's going to be able to do that pair with our motor to deliver the best response time possible. Now another common user frustration for string trimmers when they're going into thick brush is getting brush and material wrapped around between the head and the guard. Right? I see a couple heads nodding. I think a lot of you have experienced that. I'm sure your reader experienced that. So with our design, we actually have an offset guard away from the head and the gear case to eliminate that variable of material building up there. Finally, arguably the most critical part of the string trimmer is the head. When going out and talking to your readers, the professionals, reliability and durability are absolutely key for these products. A lot of the competitive products that are out there today, from a cordless standpoint, use what are called like miniaturized heads. The reason they put these smaller heads on the product is so they can chase their runtime number, right? Because it's a lower mass on the front end of that product. We're not willing to sacrifice any feature set for what the pro demands. So because of our technology, we're able to put a full-size head on the front of this thing. Now there's a couple benefits of having this full-size head. One, you get a lot more capacity, right? So it's going to give the capacity that they use on a daily basis with the professional equipment they have today. It'll hold both 080 and 095 line. The second thing is actually the reliability and how that line is wound in that head. So as I mentioned, a lot of competitors use these small heads. Now what happens is when you're wrapping that line around the smaller head, it creates a greater memory effect. So that line's going to sit in there, create a memory effect, and then when you go to bump it, it could create a backlash within that head and then not feed reliably. So by extending that out and having it, it's less memory, more reliable feeding. One final thing I want to mention about string trimmer is the cutting swath. So we have an adjustable 14 to 16 inch cutting swath. 14 inch is ideal for anybody chasing the runtime, or sorry, that's very concerned about the runtime and they want to extend it as much as possible. And then 16 inch is ideal for clearing as much material as possible in a single pass. A great example of this, when this is utilized, is a process called floating. So what I mean by floating, when a landscape maintenance crew goes through a property, the mower will go around different obstacles, let's say a utility pole for example. And what ends up happening is they leave a large chunk of grass that's untouched, and it's the string trimmer's job to come back behind it and clear that out. So with the larger swath, they're going to be able to clear it faster, and it's also going to be a more even surface, so it doesn't create any peaks or valleys within that. Now regarding the pro usage for the M18 fuel string trimmer, regarding the usage for the professional, this thing is a full replacement when it comes to maintenance repair, right? So maintenance repair, they often outsource to a landscape maintenance professional for the property they're working on. However, they will have stuff that they have to do. So whether it's clearing brush or anything, any standard maintenance around the building, full replacement. Now when it comes to landscape maintenance, both residential and commercial, this is a complement to their system, okay? So this is going to complement the gas equipment that they use today. Now, enough of me talking about the trimmer, I'm going to show you in action. Does everybody have safety glasses? Make sure you have safety glasses. If you don't, we'll get you a pair real quick.
What's the light size?
What's that?
The light size.
So we 080 and 095. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here, I'm going to first begin with a competitive 18-volt professional power tool brand. And I'm going to show you the performance that you can expect with a system like this. Other thing I want to note too is notice the long ramp up time when I pull the trigger. It takes a couple seconds to get there. So it's a valiant effort, right? But it bogs down. Doesn't necessarily have the power to cut thick brush. So take the M18 fuel string trimmer, same application. Once again, I pull that trigger, get that instant response. What do you think? Okay. Now I'm going to show you the performance you can expect from a competitive high voltage system. So you guys got the walkthrough from Paul regarding voltage and lithium-ion technology. This is arguably the #1 leader in outdoor power equipment in the world. I'm going to show you what you can expect from a higher voltage platform. Line broke. Regardless, the power's there, right? So they're in the same ballpark as us with power. Now the great thing is that we're going to take it a next step further with the runtime. So we're able to hit that power level of the high voltage system and outperform them when it comes to runtime.